seen this, Rach? This beautiful homemade baked goodness right to your door from Jenny Lee. You know and love this brand for bringing us all of their great cinnamon swirl breads. Today, we're gonna bring you the chunky cinnamon loaf breads. A different process. Scott Baker is here, 5th generation baker from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Right.
And we're so excited to have you here with these large loaves. You're getting 4 of them, 17 ounces each, over a pound each. And we have them for you in 2 different flavors. You can get all of them in the cinnamon, you can get all of them in the cinnamon raisin, or you can do a combo where you get 2 in the cinnamon raisin, 2 in the cinnamon. And today we have it for you at a sale price. This is crazy town. $9.33 is your easy pay. M76316 is your item number. You can lock this in on auto delivery, get it every 60 days for a full year. And my one thing that I will say about that, Scott Baker, is why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Right? Like,
Well, why not?
why wouldn't you do that?
What's wrong with you?
So Scott, let's talk about this, okay? Because your family's been baking for, now again, 5 generations.
5 generations, yep, since 1875, so we're almost on 150 years.
Wow.
And it's a passion that's been handed down from father to son, father to son. I learned how to bake from my dad.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
79 years old. He still comes into the bakery every day. I can't get him to take a day off. He just loves the job so much.
Oh yeah, we've seen him. He's
Right,
been on air
right.
via Skype here at QVC.
Yes, yes.
So here's the thing. So we know you for the cinnamon swirl breads.
Sure, right.
But and there's video footage.
Oh yeah, that was my grandfather walking into our old retail bakery. Factory footage. This is my bakery now. It shows you how we're making the different breads. The chunky breads are so much different than the swirl breads. It starts out the same way with great fermentation. We allow that yeast activity to create special flavors, textures, and mouthfeel. But then and you see Dad there. Dad was showing Mike how to get the perfect swirl. As it goes down the production line and it hits the guillotine, it cuts it to the length. That's where it's different. We turn that guillotine speed up so you can see, and I forgot to put my gloves on before I touch the dough. I'll make sure I put my gloves on, but we chop the dough very small, very finely like this, thin pieces, almost like a cinnamon roll thickness. And then I'm gonna put my gloves on here to mimic this part.
I'll keep cutting. How about
excellent,
that? I'll keep
perfect,
cutting
perfect.
right over there for
You're a true baker's.
I was telling you,
baker's
my
helper.
mother's family is a baking family as well. And so I probably would have gotten fired.
So you can show Mom here, hey, I helped Scott make bread.
There you go.
So literally at our production table, these hunks of dough are picked up by our bakers and put into the pan. They're scaled off. But, you know, it's done by hand. This loaf is put together by hand. And you'll see as the dough ends up in here, every single loaf it's like a piece of art. Every piece of dough, every loaf of bread is going to look different.
Well, yeah, you could see it right over here in the way that they, the way the swirl comes out.
The hero to this is the cinnamon streusel that we put on top. It's put on top by hand.
Wow.
It's pressed into the dough just like that. So again, you know, when the fans get this bread home, no loaf is ever going to look the same. The streusel sometimes is going to be underneath it on the side. It's always going to be a little bit different, but it's always going to be a delicious loaf of bread.
Well, listen, these are some of the reasons why we love Jenny Lee, because they are loaded with all that goodness. With over 300 people placing orders, I want to let you know that if you want that combo pack, that's the most popular right now. You'd get 2 of them in the cinnamon raisin and 2 of them in the cinnamon. So you can see, this is what Scott was talking about. Like, this one has more of a swirl here, and then look at where the streusel is, right? Like all on the sides and all throughout. And then this one, you can see the swirl is completely different.
Right.
Like I can see the chunks that are in there that were cut up and thrown in and mixed together. But of course, they bake into a cohesive bread.
Yes.
You could use this for peanut butter and jam sandwiches.
For sure.
You could use this for savory sandwiches as well. Like I'm thinking like turkey leftovers might be really nice on this with a cranberry
A little bit of
sauce.
sweetness in some of the turkey or the ham from Thanksgiving dinner. That's going to be a real winner.
And you were telling me you recommend toasting it up.
We hear it from
sure.
our customers. The #1 way to eat it is toasted and buttered with a cup of coffee for breakfast in the morning.
That's great. Yeah. Now listen, you're going to get 4 of these. So Scott, I am going to ask you in a second, what do I do with these 4 loaves when I get them home?
Do what I'm doing. Eat it.
Yes. Eat it right away, for sure.
I always put 1 loaf in my bread box, 1 in my neighbor's mailbox, and then 2 in the freezer. That way you're sharing the love. But they freeze great. They're going to arrive to you ambient. And then, you know, when you're ready for the next loaf, you can just pull the whole loaf out or you can pull a couple slices at a time.
Oh my gosh. Listen, all cinnamon, last call. If you want it, That's it. You got to check out of your shopping cart and get it home. If you want all cinnamon raisin, that's actually my favorite.
Right.
I love cinnamon raisin.
Right.
It's like these little satellites of sweetness all
And it's a
throughout the
plump,
bread.
juicy burst of flavor.
Yeah.
And just like the other breads that we make, finest ingredients, but our raisins come from California. The best raisins in the world are from
Super
California.
juicy, very, very plump. And then we also have, of course, our combo, which is the most popular. You get 2 in the cinnamon, 2 in the cinnamon raisin, M76316 is your item number. Remember, lock this in on auto delivery. You know, we very rarely see the chunk bread, right?
Right.
We rarely see the chunk bread. Maybe if we see it like 2 times a year, that's a lot. You can get this on auto delivery, get it every 60 days for a full year. And of course, you can also switch the flavors on the
Sure,
back end if you want.
absolutely, right.
So if you start with the combo, and then you decide that you want all of them to come to you in cinnamon raisin or all of them to come to you in cinnamon, you can do that as well. But either way, I think you're going to be really satisfied because cinnamon
absolutely.
raisin bread has a really beautiful, just kind of like nostalgia associated with it, right?
Yeah, you know, it's something that takes you back. It makes you think of grandma's kitchen. You know, that aroma when mom is toasting the bread in the morning can get kids out of their bed. It just wakes up the whole house.
I used to like take, toast bread and put butter on it and then throw some cinnamon and sugar on it when I was a kid, right? You thought that was good.
Yeah.
This is crazy delicious. Now, what are we seeing here?
So this is the factory here. You know, that was the cinnamon swirl bread. We bake in small batches, about 350 loaves per batch. You saw them mixing that cinnamon streusel. That's Dad. You know, he's 79 years old.
Oh, there it is. There it is. They're
that's-
making it. The
that's-
chunk bread.
Right. So, I mean, it's the same good bread. The formula is a little bit different than the swirl bread. It's closer to a true brioche. We put more eggs, more butter, vanilla in that dough. And so we didn't want to compete against the swirl, so it is a different tasting dough.
Listen, it is the final day this year that we're presenting this. And with over 45 five-star reviews at QVC.com and 900 customers placing orders.
Excellent.
We are very, very busy.
Thank you, everybody.
And a $9.33 easy pay. Check out of your shopping cart and get this home while we have it for you. If you want all cinnamon, last call. If you want all cinnamon raisin, that is available. If you want the combo, that is the most popular. It always is.
Right,
I don't
right.
blame you. They come
Makes everybody in the house
individually
happy.
packaged just like this. Beautiful for gifting, great for snacking. Have this in your refrigerator or your freezer,
yep.
for Thanksgiving leftovers.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Or make a special stuffing. A little bit of sweetness.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so nice.
yeah.
Scott Baker, always
Hey,
a pleasure
good
to
to
have
see
you
you,
on
my
the show.
friend.
Thank you so much
All
for
right.
being here.
Take care. See ya.
Continue placing your orders. M76316 is your item number there.
I think the Junior's cheesecake, the
Yeah?
Devil's food cake, layer cake,